Jean is finding herself on the receiving end of her sister's rage, okay, and wants to avoid a fallout but still maintain her own energy levels. So this is Jean. So this is Jean's character for today. So we're going to place Jean on here as a life code 8. And then we have the sister, who is a life code 2. I'll explain the baby in a minute. And the mum, which is a life code 9. So we'll pop her there. So as I say, we've got something interesting. We'll have an interesting perspective on why the sister, who's an adult, is presented as a screaming baby. So we'll have a little look at that in a moment.
Welcome to the Sensitive Mind Show.
Your purpose in life as a sensitive is to experience the deeper parts of the mind, to move beyond fear and to manage your energy, no matter the circumstance. I'm going to show you, as a sensitive, how you can maximize your talents and feel comfortable in your own skin. For show notes and to join the conversation, visit heidisawyer.com/mind.
Let's have a look at the first dilemma for today, which is Jean's. Okay, so what's the situation? I have always found my sister to be difficult to be around. I find when she is in the same room as me, I become drained and on edge. She's unpredictable and out of nowhere can rage. I think she has narcissistic tendencies, especially with the rage. She's a single mother with 2 boys, and when they were born, Mum and I helped her for the sake of the boys. I have ME and became very ill and had to stay away from her. We keep in touch via email. Recently, she raged at Mum and won't speak to her, but just sends aggressive, demanding emails. So what's the problem the situation creates? It's extremely draining and upsetting. I worry about the effect she's having on the boys. I can't see her, but I don't want to fall out with her. I feel I'm stuck because I don't know how to keep the peace and at the same time stay away from her without hurting her feelings, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of her rage with Mum. So what is the question that you want to ask Heidi to answer about the above? Why do I feel so drained around her, and how do I keep away but at the same time avoiding any fallout? So Jean is asking how to manage her own energy around this situation and also either maintaining or building upon that sibling relationship. So let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've got 3 different life codes here. Okay, so we've got Jean as the life code 8 who's asking the question. Life code 8s are practical. They like to have a system to things. They like to have a system, a way of doing things, because their main way of looking at life is represented here as the thinker. They think things through. They like to be able to think things through. They like to have a structure to things. And if anything, a kind of problem solution mentality around things. So they like to feel that they've got something safe, something quite concrete in how they handle and deal with things. Now, the life code 2 here, 211, which you have as the sister. Now, why is she represented as this screaming baby? Well, because the rage, I suspect, that the sister experiences and the way that she manages herself or conducts herself within this family dynamic is absolutely related back to an early life scenario, as in she's never really matured emotionally beyond that child self needing to find attention and needing to feel like they're the special one. Okay, so which I suspect is very much to do with the relationship with the mum. But how does a life code 2 relate to a life code 8? Well, they can be absolutely poles apart. For starters, we have a life code 8 on this side, which is the 3, the 5 and the 8. 8s especially are a holding energy. Okay, what does that mean? It means that they like to pause, reflect, think about things before they take action. And that works well for them. On this side, we have a 2, a 4 and a 7, and a 2 2s especially are more impulsive, more in the moment, or it works better for them to be in the moment. So they will find that in instantly accessing emotions and feelings and things like that tend to work well for them. And in this instance, with this sister as this 211, she's doing exactly that. She's accessing her emotions there and then. There's no filters. She's not filtering any kind of information. As a life code 2, as an aware life code 2, aware life code 2s very much filter information. They filter and they pause a moment before making a considered decision or a considered answer, even though that considered decision or answer will be 9 times out of 10 very truthful. It's considered. An unaware life code 211 will be impulsive about how they express, which I suspect is how this situation is. So directly to this life code 8, for the life code 8, the life code 2 will feel that they're very impulsive. They're very impulsive in how they say things and very direct, and too direct for this life code 8 to be able to process comfortably. So this life code 8 doesn't feel that they can process this comfortably. They feel that it's jarred, uncomfortable, whereas they're not pulled up on it, or when they are pulled up on it, this life code 211, as an unaware individual, is really kicking off. Okay, and also as a life code 8s, in terms of a drama, in terms of the drama triangle, can often be seen as the persecutor. Okay, so the one causing an issue and causing a problem. So it's a life code 8, and an aware life code 8 in conversation with an unaware life code 2. Soon as this life code 8 tries to address anything to this life code 2, this life code 2 will become 211 will become amazingly defensive. So this is a big dilemma situation going on anyway. Now, we have a life code 9 here in relation to both the life code 8 and the life code 211. This is a role, okay, a role in life. The mother in life is meant to be the role model, the person who structures things. But as a life code 9, life code 9s reflect the subconscious. So they very much find themselves on, life code 9s very much find themselves on the receiving end of everybody else's muck, so to speak. Or they reflect it, or they reflect those hidden components. So what happens with an unaware life code 9 and an unaware life code 2? There will be some elements of working together. Okay, so there will be some elements of that. So both prefer, and as an unaware vibration, both prefer to pretend that actually dysfunction is all okay, because neither will want to go deep into a deep way of looking at things or reflecting upon things. Why? Well, because as that life code 9, they reflect the unconscious, the subconscious. It means that if they delve into things and they look at things, they would have to look at their own line of responsibility. An unaware 9 isn't going to want to do that. So it's easy for them to have this firework dynamic with the life code 211, because neither have to really address the issue. The 211 can do all the shouting, so exactly in this situation, doing all the shouting and making the loud noise, whereas this life code 9 doesn't actually have to be responsible, because the focus is on the life code 211 doing all the shouting. How does that relate to a life code 8? Well, an 8 and a 9 placed together as an unaware 9, that life code 8 will feel very stuck. They'll feel as though they're treading through mud, and it's gloopy, and it can't make progress, and it feels sticky, it feels heavy. Okay, generally that's how it would feel as an aware life code 8 in trying to have some kind of interaction with an unaware life code 9, because again, as soon as this life code 8, as an aware life code 8 mentions anything, this unaware life code 9 is going to turn the defense mode on. But rather than defense mode be shouty, it will be along the lines of victim. Okay, because they'll say, oh, I'm getting it from both directions. I'm getting this shouty life code 211, and I'm getting this quieter but more intense feeling as far as that life code 8 is concerned, and I feel attacked. Okay, it's very easy for an unaware life code 9 to feel attacked because they won't want to take any responsibility. They'll feel completely blamed and completely blameless. So let's have a little look at this particular dynamic as far as Jean is concerned, her sister and her mother. Okay, to answer that question, why do I feel so drained around her, and how do I keep her away at the same time as avoiding any fallout? Now, I suspect before we even look into this, before we even start choosing archetypes, I suspect what this is going to show is that Jean is going to, whatever she says, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be, the mother is going to take this badly. She's going to feel like the victim, okay? Because of this 8-9 dynamic, because it will feel this 9 is be in the defense mode, the mother will be in defense mode, I suspect. And the sister, as the life code 211, isn't actually, I suspect, we'll obviously see, right? I will see with what's chosen. I suspect that the sister isn't actually the real issue at all. I suspect that the sister is just reflecting something that's going on as far as the mother is concerned. Why do I say that? Well, because 211s are the most psychic numbers of all the life codes. They are the most intuitive. They are the most expressive as far as that's concerned. Why? Because it's part of this, the male energy. Okay, it's part of that male energy. It's part of the guru energy. So if you look here, it's the guru symbol. So they tend to reflect things that are unseen, but very much there. So I strongly suspect that it's not the sister that's the issue. If it was the other way around, I'd say it was, as in the sister was a life code 9 and the mum was a life code 2. Then I'd say probably we'll see that more the case, but I suspect it's this way round, but we won't know until we have a look. So let's have a look. So I've got the archetypes here. I use the archetypes because they were a very handy way of getting to something a deeper way quicker. Okay, so what I'm going to do is shuffle these. I'm not, I haven't looked to choose anything before right now, so let's have a little look. Okay, so the first person I'm looking at is Jean. So the question is, how do I avoid, why do I feel so drained around her, and how do I keep away at the same time as avoiding any fallout? Okay, so let's have a look at what's going on for Jean in this situation. Okay, interesting. We've got the Messiah here. So straight away, what we're seeing is that part of the reasoning for as far as the sister is concerned, I suspect when we look into this, is that the sister sees Jean as the righteous one. And quite often, when a dysfunctional scenario has been encouraged in some situations, which I suspect may well have been here, which is that division and that triangulation and the separation between the siblings, is that the sister actually perceives Jean as the chosen one, as the special one, as the golden one, and sees her as the person who has more attention than her. Okay, even though Jean will see it as, well, that's not true, it doesn't quite happen that way, but that, I suspect, is what the sister believes, which is why Jean's energy here is shown as the Messiah. It's not that Jean then has all the answers. It will be that the sister sees her as the chosen one. So just to see whether that is true, let's have a little look at what the sister's energy is. Okay, so So again, if you can see, shuffling here, and then I'm going to just choose one with the sister in mind. Okay, so we've got the shapeshifter. Interesting. So what does that mean? It means that the sister is completely out of control of her own emotions. So it's not conscious. So this may well help Jean in recognizing this, that the sister is not conscious of the fact that her emotions go into this rage scenario. She's not actually fully conscious of that. So it's not a case of that it's a wild manipulation. The shapeshifter means that she's got this varying emotions all the time and can't control them. Okay, so as far as Jean's situation is concerned, that may well help, that she actually realizes that the sister isn't consciously doing it, it's happening upon her. So let's have a look at the mum, okay, which I suspect is where the actual dynamic lies. Okay, so I'm just thinking of the mother, and we'll see what comes up. Interesting. So we have the Virgin. Absolutely excellent. So the mother perceives herself as completely innocent in all of this. That she's completely innocent, that she has no responsibility, nothing that she's done has created this this sister who's very volatile and can't control her emotions. The mother regards herself as completely innocent and has nothing to do with it. So, therefore, the big question is, what can Jean do just so that her interaction with the sister is surface enough, but she can then understand that actually the sister is deeply wounded, okay, and doesn't know how to solve it, because the mother is, I'm so innocent, I've had nothing to do with creating this situation in the first place. So what I would say, as far as this is concerned, the lesson to learn here is sometimes some compassion is needed. It doesn't mean to say you agree with someone's bad behaviour, but a compassion is required in order to understand how it got to be there. So let's look at what the connector is as far as that's concerned, so that Jean can handle her sister in a situation where she understands her volatile nature, but at the same time she doesn't need to correct it, because I suspect what she'll be doing is communicating with the mother about, oh, how do we solve this? That's the worst thing that Jean can actually do, because the mother is feeding it. So it's about then Jean becoming comfortable in herself, as in feeling a compassion for her sister, but not falling into it. So let's have a look and see what comes up as far as that's concerned. Okay, so we have the addict. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to put that there. So what Jean would really find helpful is that she understands that the sister is kind of addicted to her rage, that it's her way of being seen, as a way of her being recognised. But it doesn't mean that Jean has to be part of that, and to steer away from commenting on it, because she'll be seen as self-righteous, hence the Messiah. So, light surface interaction, not to involve the mother in terms of a discussion about the sister, but just to deal with her on that level of surface, and to understand that her sister it has an addiction, but it's not so much, it's not one that we would normally look at. You normally look at substance, so there would be something like food or alcohol or shopping or something, but it's still an addiction, and it's addiction to that rage. So let's have a look. And it doesn't mean then that Jean goes about saving her sister, because it's the worst thing she can do with that Messiah. She'll be seen as self-righteous, and also as that life code 8, as the persecutor. So if she tries to rescue her, she'll be persecuted for it. Okay, so let's have a look at that just one more, just to see what that little bridge is for Jean's peace of mind. Okay, so we have the servant. That doesn't mean that she suddenly has to be submissive as far as the sister is concerned. She looks at each time she has to have an interaction with her sister, it's a case of asking, where can I be of service? As in, what is in my behaviour is for the greater good here? Where am I serving, as in rising above this scenario, but at the same time not participating with it? And if she can manage to have that in her mind, every time she has some kind of interaction with her sister, she'll find that the dynamic is much easier. So what can we learn from this situation is that it's not always the one who's shouting the loudest is the one who's actually causing the problem. If there is a dynamic in life where there is 3 people, where it feels that 3 people involved in a situation, quite often it's a case of where you're looking to solve it as an intuitive sensitive, which you would do, because we like to solve because we don't like the conflict. Instead of looking to the one who's shouting the loudest, look to the one who's the quietest, or perhaps the one that sees themselves, what have I done wrong? I'm so innocent. I'm the victim here. And see what they're choosing to role they're choosing to play within it, and to see how you're perhaps able to stop yourself from feeding that, and so you're not part of a three-way situation in terms of that triangulation, in terms of that dynamic that feeds and powers another part to it. So you're no longer engaged with that drama. That's the end of this episode of the Sensitive Mind Show. If you've enjoyed it and found it helpful, do share it with your friends, and be sure to join me next week, where I look forward to giving you an alternative perspective on your relationship dynamics. Bye for now, and let me leave you with this. For more great free content designed to support your purchase of my book, Highly Intuitive People, 7 Right Brain Traits to Change the Lives of Intuitive Sensitive People, please visit finallyfeelunderstood.com. There you can subscribe and download for free the meditation specific to today's episode. If you have already read the book, then it's time for you to receive exclusive access and support from me and your fellow intuitive sensitives as we go deeper together along this proven 7-step path by joining us in my monthly membership program called Heidi's Circle. There you can ask me anything in a safe and private environment, and I will answer you live. Join us today by visiting healmyinnerworld.com.